Okay, wait, I changed my mind. Can we start by talking about the sign?
The what?
The sign?
That
sign.
Yeah, sure, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, how do you pronounce your name?
Puszczewiczs.
Puszczewiczs.
Yeah, you've got it.
Very good.
Great.
Nice. Yeah.
What are the most common mispronunciations of Puszczewiczs?
Puszczewiczs.
Puszczewiczs.
Yeah, there's a few that come to mind, but I probably can't say them.
Yeah.
I'm not probably thinking the same thing. But
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to get, so I'm a teacher, so I get a lot of nicknames because the kids like they'll put up their hand and like Mister, and then they'll struggle. So I got Pushko was like a common one. Pooch came in there as well, and then most of them still Mr. P now, so that's nice.
Okay, Mr. P.
Yeah,
I've
What
heard
do you-
ski getting pushed in somehow.
yeah, there is
Clearly not spelled like with ski anywhere.
Yeah.
There are
Some
no
people
kids.
have pronounced it that way. Don't they?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I don't think we've made it easy for our listeners to do it either. It's kind of Puszczewiczs. We've kind of ran out of letters and stuff, so we've had to compromise.
They haven't noticed.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it. I don't think anyone would have noticed. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were creative.
yeah, we got there in the end. But obviously, you guys are brothers. What was it like growing up in a household full of? Because you don't have any other siblings.
No, you invited all of them,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was great. Definitely like a lot of sport, a lot of rough and tumble, and just good time.
Cool.
Pretty
We
good.
pretty much like followed the calendar of sport. Like if Wimbledon was on, we were playing tennis, and rugby.
Really?
If the Six Nations were on, we're playing rugby. And it was good. I always had somebody to play PlayStation with, Xbox with.
Great.
So,
Yeah. And you all went to the
fun.
same school as well.
Yeah. So we were all in, well, actually different ways. So we grew up in a few different spots. So first off, folks were living in town, then moved to Blanchardstown, and now we're all in North Houghton Meath.
Okay.
But we all at some point went to Belvedere College in Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was our shared education experience.
What was that experience kind of like?
Well, I mean, I think the reason we went there was because our parents were like, it's a good Catholic school, good reputation and all that. I think I'm happy I went. Like it was really, I love school anyway. Like it was a good spot to be, especially like music and rugby and everything we got to do. On the Catholic side of things, not as good. I mean, like for me, inside the classroom, throughout 6 years, no religious formation at all happened inside the class. But got to do things like went to Taizé, went to Lourdes, did the Camino, all with school. So faith-wise, the school kind of played a big part in like providing those things to do.
Yeah, right.
But like within the classroom itself, not a whole lot going on. And towards the end, it got kind of pretty bad as well.
Are there any Jesuits in the school?
There was always a rector, so I'm not sure who the rector is at the moment. When I was there, there's Father Cassidy was there. He was pretty nice. Sadly he passed away a few years ago, but he was really nice. But it's funny to say Tim because like there's a bit of an age gap between us. So there's 8 years between me and Tim, and there's 5 years between myself and Matthew. There's a full 6 school years between myself and Matthew.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting hearing their stories versus my stories. I think there's a few people that had retired by the time they got in that I had that are like actually really solid.
Right.
So we did like small little bits, and probably the best things we had were there were always Jesuit scholastics would come in at some point from different countries on their mission year, because they have to do a couple of years abroad, I think, or in some kind of a formation kind of situation. So they always gave like great lessons as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I know that Tim definitely made good friends with one.
Yeah, there was one Romanian Jesuit, Ted. He was very so people like I remember towards especially the end of the school, like that kind of older influence was kind of disappearing, and it wasn't they weren't like say I don't know how to put it nicely, I was faithful to the magisterium. But at the same time, I'm very it was great. So school was like a really happy time, really good time.
And I'd say now, like from talking to people who are in school now, kind of and just hearing things, there seems to be like there are things on the up. Like there's kind of the Jesuits seem to have kind of got involved again a good bit. So
like there was a weekly mass in school on a Friday, and I remember like I never went that much, but towards the end, school would have started to go more. And I was like 5 or 6 people at it, most of them teachers. Now I remember when I was in 6th year, groups got set up. It was kind of supposed to be like a faith group or something. But one of the things they do is they go to mass on the Friday, and now the church is packed, and like probably like over 100 lads every Friday. That's good. So things are getting better there.
Cool.
But it was a good place to be anyway.
Jesuits are always really good at like service. That was like their big thing. So like in school, you always had that side of things was like really strong.
Right.
But I guess same as like a lot of schools where you're trying to figure out how do you like bring the faith stuff in.
For sure.
I know like their sleep out this year. I think the final figure is like 370,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's insane. Like they're doing like a lot of good.
Right.
So So I guess just getting that faith side in is probably a bit of a challenge.
I was going to ask you actually, what's the experience like? Because you're a teacher now. What's been the difference since you started secondary school and the teaching system now when you're teaching?
So it's pretty interesting. We in school, when I was in school anyway, we didn't have like the junior cycle curriculum. And now that's what I'm teaching for first to third years, and from fourth to sixth year, it's similar to what I had. It's kind of like a modular teaching where certain teachers will take certain topics, and then students will kind of filter through that.
Okay.
And
so what is it that you teach exactly?
I teach religion and music.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So I take religion and music. So specifically on the religion side of things, that's kind of the way that works. It's a funny situation, and I guess it's reflective of the society that we see around us as well. It's probably about the same in terms of people of faith, or the number of people of faith in like schools, and I'd say even within Catholic schools as well, as you would see in kind of wider society.
Okay.
So it can kind of be funny when you're in a situation or in a place where you're expected to kind of cultivate a Catholic ethos, but maybe the people that you have around you don't necessarily understand what it means, or don't know how to approach that in the best way, because maybe they don't have that formation or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It's kind of like almost like if you're in a Gael school, but not everybody could speak Irish fluently. Like everybody has like a couple of focal, but they don't have like the full fluency with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people try to do their part, and like it's brilliant. But maybe there's a broad appeal to people to come and, especially if they're listening to this, to come and be Catholic teachers in Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Because it'd be great. Because there's loads of space for you, and it's a wonderful place. Wonderful gig.
Yeah. And just quickly, what's kind of your approach to that then when you're in that environment? I presume you're one of the few Catholic teachers.
Again, like it's definitely reflective of society. So if we say there's, I don't know, roughly like 20 or 30% of the population is like practicing Catholic, or like intentionally Catholic, I'd say it's probably about the same as staffing.
Okay.
And I suppose like part of it is just being a witness, and going about your day and trying as best you can to represent the faith, I suppose, in a legit and fair and honest way.
Yeah.
And then in your lesson, so I'm fortunate to get to teach religion, that I have a space where I can do Catholic things.
Right.
So that's probably it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you can do like, it's a religion class, but so many of the questions are so open-ended that like they can almost be considered questions that you'd find being asked at like prayer groups and youth groups and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
So it opens up conversation there, which is really cool.
And people all have that like curiosity. Like definitely, I'd say any of our experiences are the same in school, where you might have only been like one of a few in your class or in your year that were going to mass and stuff. But not everybody necessarily, but like a lot of people would have those questions, and that's still there. That's still like a very like normal thing.
Yeah. For sure. But then on the other end, you're still in college. So very different stages of life, but still a very sort of powerful witness of the faith. Could you talk through, because you're head of the Ancient Society, etc. So
interestingly, it's like on the kind of like the institutional side is not that easy, because say in Trinity, the student union have banned the Ancient Society from having a prayer event every week. So like that, you might hear that and say, okay, it's really, really bad in the college campuses. But at the same time, like it's booming a little bit in Trinity anyway. I remember during COVID, like you're talking like 6 or 7 people would kind of regulars would show up to the weekly event that they had. Now it was on Zoom and everything. But now, say last semester, we had like 30, 35 adoration every single week. So like there's good things happening, which is really, really good. So like within the Catholic circles, it's faith is definitely growing, and I think people are getting really, really like confident with it as well. Like the conversations you'd be having would be people basically just saying not really afraid of being Catholic, where I think a few years ago that probably existed. There's probably a bit of shame and stuff like that. But we're kind of growing out of that, and it's just a really good group of people. That's like on the kind of prayer side of it, and then also in Trinity we have the Thomistic Institute, and like some of those lectures, like the way it works is we'll do like 2 or 3 lectures per semester on theology, philosophy, different stuff to do with that. And I mean, we've had a couple of talks where like over 100 people would come. So like it's pretty it's pretty nice to kind of see over the last couple of years how it's developed. So it definitely gives me a lot of hope what's happening on our campus anyway. I've heard similar things in other colleges, so it's good. Things are looking good in Trinity anyway. But at the same time, like you do kind of there's an opposition force a little bit. But I think we're doing pretty well, and numbers are going up, which is the main thing, and also the people who are there are like committed, and they kind of know and love what the church is teaching. So yeah, it definitely it's a sign of hope, I'd say.
For sure, yeah, and it goes back to what Adam was saying as well about curiosity, because when you have events like TI and you've got the Laurentian Society, those are things that are going to spark curiosity as well, and that's what people don't have. It's like they don't want to say it themselves, but if someone says it, and they'll take part in it because it's they're curious.
TI's class work is on like such a broad range of topics. So like it's got some of everything. So.
Yeah, because you actually just explained what TI is, just for our listeners.
Oh yeah, so Thomistic Institute. So it was set up by the Dominicans in Washington DC. I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Basically, it's just big university campuses across America, Ireland, and the UK. And what they'll do is they'll fund for speakers to travel out there to give a lecture on a Catholic topic. Like it has to be based on the thought of Thomas Aquinas. That's kind of like that's the whole point, really, to spread that thought. And it's gotten huge. So like average attendance across like different campuses is like 70 or 80 per event. And if they're all the big universities you can think of in America, like Trinity College, then I think there's one in Limerick now as well, a new one, Edinburgh, Oxford, Cambridge, and then just like all across America, like 60 or 70 campuses there. So it's a huge thing. And yeah, it's a big movement that's happening. It's really, really good that it's kind of like a whole network of students and now alumni, because it's kind of had a few years behind it, of people who have been used to working on campuses trying to get these events going. But yeah, so it's Thomistic Institute. Big fan, big proponent of that. Like them a lot. Yeah, they're really, really great. If you're hearing what I'm saying or interested, go to the website. Like all the talks that they have are on there. There's like YouTube videos about St. Thomas Aquinas and everything. It's really, really good, and retreats it now as well. Okay. So it's a good.
Are you allowed to give any sort of sneak peeks for the semester? Or no?
What is a big one?
There's a big one actually. Yeah. All right. So we have 3 talks this semester. The big one, Father Gregory Pine, is coming to Trinity College in April. Yeah. The talk, we actually don't know what he's going to talk about yet.
Hopefully he does.
Yeah, he'll say something anyway, I'm sure. So we've got 3 events like that, and they'll all be happening in Trinity College. There's also a retreat happening in July. That's for all students in Ireland who want to attend that. And that'll be in Holy Family Mission, so keep an eye on that. But Father Gregory Pine in April. It's happening in Trinity. Everybody's invited. That's the thing. It's not just for Trinity students. So there's pizza after.
That's the most important.
Very important.
Advertising events. That's 3.5 months away. That hasn't even been organised. But yeah, come to that. That'll be class. Like
for sure.
A few hundred people. Where the highest attended event in the world was like 170 something people. That was in a university in America.
Yeah.
We're aiming for 200. So we want to be the biggest.
For sure.
Ever. I think we can do it. So please come.
Bring
all
a
ages. Friend. Bring a friend. All ages. Father Gregory Pine. It's going to be great.
Great. Unreal. We'll mention that on air as well. We'll make sure the message gets out there. And then smack bang in the middle is Matthew. Both like literally in the middle. And also, but you've just graduated this past year from college, and now you're working.
Yeah, I'm working. I just started a job in a bank in Dublin just 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks in.
Cool.
So it's
and how were you involved in Laurentian or?
Yeah, so COVID and then being a year off from Trinity as well kind of hampered my college experience a little bit. But in my final year, I was really involved in the Laurentian Society, and I can kind of speak to the development of the Laurentian Society as well, because I was in first year in 2018, and there was like a good core of people. And also it's important to remember that the Laurentian Society didn't really exist for a good few years in the 2000s.
It's relatively new.
Yeah, right. So and there would have been a small core, but I didn't really attend for whatever reason, that much in first year. But then to come back, because I was in Erasmus in Poland in third year, and then to come back on fourth year and to see just how much it had grown, and see all the new faces, and just see how much people are going to adoration, and just the community there was just so good, and it like really made my final year like so much more enjoyable than I thought it would be. So
that's really cool. But I'll actually open this question up to all 3 of you. But what was that experience like in college, going to a very secular university, and being a person of faith, and how did you tackle just having conversations with your course mates and people that weren't necessarily that familiar with the faith.
Yeah, it would have only come up for me when we were doing because my course was business and Polish, so we would have Polish cultural classes, and Polish culture is so steeped in Catholicism and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew a lot of already what the lectures were talking about, and there would have been conversations with fellow classmates, but my class was quite small, so but I find it grand. Really, it wasn't nothing too negative. I think people are generally just open up.
There's probably an idea people have about campuses nowadays in Ireland and everything, and that it's difficult being a Catholic. Maybe it could just be my perspective. It's not as bad as you think.
Right.
Really, I think people generally are quite nice.
Yeah.
Even maybe it's just our experience throughout school as well, being probably some of the few Catholics in the school, and just being used to I'm the only one in the room who thinks what I think, basically, being used to that. But in college, on a personal level, it's I don't find too much of a challenge.
Right.
And kind of more so going back to school, it's a good motivator to know your faith when you feel if someone asks me a question, you want to be ready, you want to actually know what the answer is, basically. So I'd say it helps personally to it helps form you a little bit, and also it's not I've never had any sort of a bad experience, I'd say, with a person, and that's having been very open about my faith. Yeah. I don't sit back so I'll happily say something.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I'd be pretty happy with it. I don't think people should be shy about their faith at all, because I haven't had really much bad experiences with it.
Yeah.
There will be some I don't know, some elements, especially freshers week and stuff in first week, and what you get given in your kind of whatever welcome pack, whatever it is, just different things that you're no, don't do that, I'm not a fan of that. And then you kind of miss out maybe on some of the social scene as well, because you just know it's going to get messy at some point, and you're oh, I don't really want to take part in that kind of thing. But then when you have branch society or different things, you do have that social element of being in the church as well, which is which is great as well. We have plenty of community, so and that's important. So
it's good practice for the real world, because the reality is once you start working and moving out, most people in Ireland nowadays are going to disagree with you. So it's good to kind of have your community, have people that you kind of rely on, you can talk about whatever. But then at the end of the day, you kind of have to go out into the world a little bit and be used to interacting with people who aren't Catholic. So I think it's a good experience to have, even if it's not maybe the most enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right. And then something else I wanted to talk about was Poland.
We've been there.
Yeah, maybe. As the name suggests. We were actually thinking of putting Poland on the sign. We thought that would be more. But yeah, what's kind of been your experience in Poland? So your dad is Polish?
Our dad's Polish, okay. Mum's Irish, and then they met in Taizé in France.
Okay.
So yeah, very a nice mix of definitely two Catholic cultures, and then in a nice spot there in France too. So I suppose easiest thing for us faith wise to describe is probably the on the holidays. So for Christmas and Easter we definitely do big Polish things, and then we probably tip into Polish masses occasionally as well. So yeah, I guess we just had Christmas, so that might be a good place to start. We on Christmas Eve we do the big food thing, midnight mass at midnight. Couldn't you believe it? So we were there for that this year, and then the dinner and stuff before is big. It's 12 courses. It's for each of the Apostle, 2 days of Christmas, or what's the
something like that sounds
something
right.
12.
They both work.
12, yeah. What else? 12 other things as well. So that's a big thing, and then it just family time, an abundance of family time for days after that. And making sure you do all the stuff, and then for Easter I suppose it's pretty fun one as well. So I know we've done it a few times. We do every year actually now. They do the resurrection mass on Easter Sunday. So that's is it 5 or 6 in the morning?
It's sunrise, whatever that is.
It's early.
Cool.
6 a.m.
You wake up early.
You have to wake up early, and there's mass in town for that as well. It's a Polish mass. The Archbishop used to go to it.
Eucharistic procession as well.
Around the streets of Dublin.
So. Whereas no cars around, and if there's our cars are water.
What is going on?
That's amazing. That's great.
We're all singing in different languages.
Ringing bell, incense, people are on fire. It's good crack. We did make a mistake one year though. I think the clocks like went forward one of the years.
Oh, yeah.
So we were leaving. I was like, it's a lot brighter than I usually.
We were like on the motorway.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
damn.
yeah, I think we like switched on the radio
We're
and I was like, yeah, the news. I like, all right, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Let's go back home.
Yeah,
Let's go back home to bed.
right. Yeah.
Unreal. And what's the faith like in Poland at the moment? Because obviously a lot of good things come out of Poland.
Yeah, I could probably speak to it. I mean, there is a lot more faith in Poland than there is in Ireland. There's just like way more priests. There's way more seminarians now. There's like the churches everywhere. They're beautiful. They're like really well decorated. There's still like priests in the schools and nuns and stuff, and there kind of is still that. It's still church is involved in a lot of elements of society. It's still very important, but like everywhere, like in the Western Europe, it is dwindling a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, pray for Poland, everybody.
Uh-huh.
But I would say that the base level that Poland could get to in terms of faith isn't as low as it can get to in Ireland. Like they're so well organized over there.
Yeah.
And there's just so much more like cultural elements, and it's just part of the culture that I just can't see it getting too bad. So
that was like linked with like because the national pride and stuff as well.
Yeah,
so, like the
history and everything, and
definitely history.
I think like in Ireland, there's kind of like a shame with Catholic history a little bit, like recently. But just like the cool, like really big parts of Polish Catholic history are like very recent. Like John Paul II and Faustina, and Maximilian Kolbe, like that's all.
Yeah, like
100 years. So it's like there's no shame really. I don't think.
Yeah, like the church had such a big role in like bringing an end to communism in Poland.
Yeah.
Like John Paul II especially. So like Tim said, there isn't that shame. Like there's
and boy oh boy, they do a good procession as well. So we were there for Corpus Christi during the summer as well.
Oh, great,
it was just brilliant.
The whole town is out for a procession, like around the whole town. And I was over in Poland on Erasmus as well in Warsaw, and that'd be kind of more of a liberal city and stuff, but even still, like there's thousands out on the street for a Corpus Christi procession.
Okay.
And those elements of the faith are just great. A bit different to Ireland, like where some of those things aren't as popular as they used to be.
Very public about it.
Yeah. Very public about it.
Would your dad ever talk about growing up in Poland?
Oh yeah, plenty. How
come over? Yeah, it's first topic of conversation with most people, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
Let me tell you about communism. Like,
right.
Yeah.
We've got today's title.
The poor lads from like DPD dropping packages over. He's like, oh, come in.
No, it was a big deal for him because it was obviously growing up in a socialist country,
sure.
and like there was no Catholic teaching allowed in schools, and everything was extremely secular. And then when he was in college, that's when like the kind of student rebellions and like revolution and stuff started kind of getting going, solidarity, all that sort of stuff.
It's all very Catholic as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Solidarity is like a Catholic trade union basically.
Yeah.
It's Catholic movement that brought down communism.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, especially all the culture war stuff at the moment. To kind of see, he's definitely notices like different elements of things like creeping in that he would have known from his time growing up.
Yeah.
So I know he's definitely like worried about that kind of thing. That's definitely like underselling it. Go out top. So like it's been great from our perspective definitely to have his voice, and like he is like the most well-read man I think in the country. There's not enough room in the house for the books, so he's got like
it's a bit of an issue.
Mum's not the most pleased at that. So I suppose from that perspective he's always happy to share, and which we bring.
For sure. I think because Catholicism had such a big impact in that sort of time period, because it was interesting what Matthew said about like the base being lower in Ireland. I know when I go back to India, it's kind of like you might not be that faithful, but you're expected to be Catholic. Like that's an expectation. Is that kind of the same in Poland, where it's like?
It is and it isn't. I mean, Poland like wasn't always just a country full of Polish people who were Catholic. It like traditionally had a load of like Jews in it, obviously, and different things, different cultures and stuff. So there kind of was an element of like kind of each to their own a little bit, and that's still kind of in the Polish psyche. And obviously, there's like plenty of people who were communists basically, and had those kind of ideas, and they're kind of still around as well. So like millions of them. So they're kind of around, but the church itself is like a lot more confident and knows what it is, and like teaches what it's meant to teach. Basically, it isn't shy about it. So like, if you come to mass, you like, I don't know, sometimes in Ireland, a priest might say something, a lot of congregation might be a bit displeased by that,
Right.
even though even if it's Catholic teaching. Whereas that wouldn't really happen in Poland. They'd be like, yeah, that's just that's what the church teaches, you know, that kind of a way of it. Yeah.
It's like people are shocked here when they hear something. It's like, oh, I didn't realize like you're Catholic. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you expect?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really good. And then what's your favorite thing about Poland?
Too many things.
But I'd be right in saying actually that you guys are more Polish than Irish.
Might seem like it from the episode.
There's lots to like about Poland, like, and especially when Ireland has been kind of going down a certain path recently. Poland has been like a beacon of hope for us. Like they're, you know, like, I don't know, especially like politically recently, like we've had our different referendums and stuff, and Poland was like brought in laws like against abortion, like making it like completely illegal basically. Whereas we're kind of going the other way, that kind of thing. So that was always kind of nice that there was kind of, you know, Poland's holding out. Yeah, it's always good news. I know it's kind of a bit different, but like, yeah, so that was kind of nice. And whatever, there's so much about Poland, like the faith, the history.
So cool. It's a gorgeous country as well.
Culture. Yeah, it has the sea, has the mountains, the weather's like lovely. It snows in the winter and it's sunny in the summer.
That's really good.
Just all those types of things. So.
Have you heard of pierogi as well? Pierogi are pretty good. So it's like the dumplings. Yeah, that's like up there.
Oh,
as well.
have I heard of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We someone made that for me in dinner a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A guy, a Polish guy in the society.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
What was in them?
I don't know.
Like a
Potato cheesy or were they cabbagey mushroomy?
Or
I think
or meaty cheese.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meaty.
Okay.
No, definitely not dessert.
They come in different shapes and sizes.
Okay. It was interesting because it was like you like boil the thing, is it?
Yeah.
But what is the actual like the bulk of it? What is it?
It's just like a dough. It's almost like people don't know what we're talking about probably.
Yeah.
Imagine ravioli type thing.
Okay.
So it's like a dumpling. Yeah, it's a dumpling, but the outside is more like gnocchi. You know what I'm saying? Gnocchi, whatever it is.
Well, I've had it, so
yeah. So it's kind of just, okay. So there's a dough around the outside, and then inside, the most common one is like potato cheesy.
Right.
Okay. That's the best. It's really good. There's ones with cabbage. There's ones with meat. Blackberries and
blueberries. There's sweet ones with cheese as well. Like a white cheese is really good.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to Krakow soon.
Oh
yeah,
class.
With the lads. So, what do you recommend to do in Krakow?
Oh, there's so much.
The Shrine of Divine Mercy is like right beside it.
Great.
That's where St. John Paul II was Archbishop.
So there's a lot about him. Yeah.
There's a lot about him there.
Wawel Castle is great as well. Like look around, like literally just walk around. Is amazing.
Yeah, so there's a cathedral there that has who's buried there? Yeah, the Saint Jadwiga's buried there.
It's kind of like Poland's like Westminster Abbey, like all the heroes of Poland are kind of buried there. But there's like saints and stuff.
Cool. She's a cool saint because
who are you talking about?
Saint Jadwiga.
Oh yeah,
she was king of Poland. That's her.
Yeah.
They didn't have a word for a queen. So there was and this is like the 14th century or so. It was ages ago. Maybe not that long, but actually I don't know what it was. Yeah, she was.
Cool. Nobody's checked as well. Nobody's checked.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. What else to do there? Auschwitz is nearby. Well, kind of near.
Right.
Maximilian Kolbe, especially there.
Yeah. Edith Stein as well.
Oh, we have an interesting kind of link to Maximilian Kolbe as well. So the guy that he saved is Franciszek Gajowniczak, and he after the war resided in Brzeg, which is where like our family live.
It's from
It's kind of
the guy who he saved.
Literally from the same town. It would have been, I think, same parish.
I think our granny would have they would have known him and known of him.
Oh, yeah,
it's a pretty big town, but like still, he was there. So yeah, the faith is those elements are very tangible, like so close to reality.
Right.
Whereas like a lot of Irish saints and like stories, it kind of goes back way back when. And we don't hear too much about the more recent ones, but like for Poland, it's just like constantly. Yeah, it's just so close.
Yeah,
sure.
But yeah, Krakow, great place. Definitely worth a look.
I'm looking forward to it. One thing I want to mention before we finish up, because we're running out of time, is the three of you were at World Youth Day.
Yeah,
Matthew and Adam together.
No, actually, we're all separate.
All separate.
Really? Oh, okay.
I went with the Mead Dice this year.
I went with the Spiritans, so I had taught with the Spiritans previously.
And I went on my own. I just hopped around different groups all the time. I was with Mead Dice at one point, the Opus Dei group at one point, Pure in Heart at one point, whatever your that group. I forgot already.
Yeah.
I just hopped around. It was great.
Tim met all the Catholics.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah.
Scottish Opus Day as well was with them.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure there was a day, because I feel like I remember you saying this, or maybe someone told me that you were with all three groups in the same day. Quite possible.
Oh yeah, that was probably one of the later days. Yeah,
Cool.
everyone was just kind of walking around the whole to get to the Pope's mass. So yeah, I think that was probably when the Pope was there, because I went
Cool.
with you and the other
Yeah.
Opus Day lads, and then I was with me diocese for a good bit. We were chilling, and then I slept beside Pure Heart. So on my own.
Not with Pure Heart.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful when you're talking about Pure Heart. Right?
No, I wasn't in their group, but I was there.
Great.
So yeah, no, World Youth Day was great though.
And what was the experience of the Camino like after?
It was great. I did it with 3 Spanish lads. Only one of them spoke decent English.
Oh wow.
So that was fun. But it was great. Like usually what you do in Camino is you stay in hostels.
Yeah.
What we did was we were carrying tents around as a backup option in case.
This is like the hack.
Yeah, the plan is don't do this.
Life
This only works for my group. We went to mass in whatever town we arrived in, and then the Spanish lads would just talk to the priest for a while, and then just ask, "Do you have a room we can sleep in for free?" So like we were sleeping in like catechesis rooms, just like on the floor. They'd open up like one night it was outside. It was like the yard of a school. It was funny. It was like a gate. There was a road and like a see-through gate, and then the yard, and we were just sleeping. It was great though. And then so it was different things like that. Like it was great. We were looked after so well.
Great.
I remember one day in particular, we got to town, spoke to the priest, and he brought us like underneath the church, and then he was like, there's no showers here, but I'll see what I can do. And then basically an old lady from the parish just let us into her apartment to have a shower one by one. There was a warm shower and everything. This was after like a week of cold showers at World Youth Day.
Right.
Obviously walking in the heat the whole time, and then she gave us we were allowed to use her shower. She didn't speak English, obviously, so I don't speak Spanish, which is important for her.
Yeah.
So it was great. Yeah, Camino's really, really good though. And then getting to Santiago de Compostela was great. And then I volunteered there at the Pilgrim's office for a week.
Great. Okay.
So yeah, love that. Highly recommend it. Yeah, really, really good. And then the tomb of St. James is there. Amazing cathedral, and yeah, it's a really, really cool place to be.
Cool. Great. Look over it, Thomas. I think we're out of time. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. This has been a long time in the making. It flies by. That's the one thing.
In fact.
But if you're watching and you want to come on, get in contact with us. You can call us at 089 467 2000. You can text or WhatsApp us at 089 467 2000. Sorry, that's my mistake. You can call us at 014 123456. And you can email us at info@radiomaria.ie. I've been working here for over half a year, and I still don't have contact details. They're right there. I should be able to do them. But anyways, thanks for coming on, and then we'll chat to everyone next week.
Super. Thanks.